Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In this video I'll be going through my AFL fantasy team post the Amy Community Series and pre-round 0, as we did have a little bit of chaos in the Community Series. Obviously we had the Cyclone postponement yesterday afternoon. You would have seen that video there. And so my team made some changes. There is some, some thought processes going through with everything. And there's still some moving parts with everything included. But anyway, let's jump into this video. So, first of all, just wanted to highlight here the pin for the Just YouTube League, it's not a head-to-head, it's just an open league here, and the code there is D7LWHTEK. So join that and you'll also be able to see how I go on a weekly basis if you aren't watching the videos. But anyway, let's just jump into the team. 17k remaining at the moment. There is definitely some toing and throwing here with everything going on and just trying to hunt value early on, especially with the postponement games, and we don't know what's going to happen with them. We have a very good inkling that the Brisbane-Geelong game is just going to slot in there at round 3 because that is the easiest thing to do and it just works nicely. And then the chaos is the refixturing the Gold Coast versus Essendon game. We don't know what's going to happen there. I suspect we get news probably on Thursday night, if not Friday, about that, and we'll see how they decide to go around it, because they're trying to figure out dates and everything on how to squeeze it in there, because I reckon there will be a 3 games in 14-day period there, or sorry, it would be less than that, 3 and 12, 3 and 11, something dumb like that. That they may have a 6th and then a 5-day break or something like that, so they may have to flip some of the round 16 onwards that they've got the floating fixture, may even review the round 15s and round 14 fixtures and trying to just separate the Geelong and Essendon, the Essendon and Gold Coast games apart further so that they can create a hole there. But anyway, enough of that, let's get into this. So firstly, you'll see Harry Sheezel hasn't left the D1 spot. He was amazing in the practice game, and I know some content creators are going against it. I just think that with the way it is, Sheezel, I think it's hard to leave him out at this point. He has Western Bulldogs who are depleted. I don't think they'll run a tag, and I think he could easily go huge against them. He's got Melbourne, who Caleb Sarong went 90 or so against them in 3 quarters. I could see him doing something similar. And then he's got Adelaide, who did Adelaide play in the Community Series? They lost their Community Series game. They played Brisbane, didn't they? And you had the likes of, am I right in saying Adelaide? Yeah, they played Brisbane, and you had Lachie Neale go 110 against them in, what was his game time? Let's just see his TOG. Lachie Neale went 110 against them in 86% TOG, which is a similar. And if that's, so Sheezel, I think that's there. And then Sydney, that'll be interesting what they do, because he obviously got tagged last year against them, but James Jordan might not tag, 1, and 2, also the fact that they'll probably be more looking at the likes of Caleb Daniel, because when there's a prominent halfback that likes to move the ball, they do like to tag there. So he might even escape the tag there, and then he's got Gold Coast. So I'm looking at this wondering, I think he could go absolutely huge here to start anyway, and put on it's not a bad fixture to start anyway for him. Jane Shorts, D2, I think he's been D2 or D3 in a lot of these markups. It's just dependent on D5 and what price range you go for D5. I just think there's value there. He pretty much had to get tagged to a 90. So, after a big first half, he got tagged in the second half. So, I'm pretty confident there. Matty Roberts, I think with the Errol Gulden injury, it pretty much only helps him, because it means that Florence probably going to move further up the field alongside Lloyd, who's already, one of those two is already there, and the other one probably has to join them up the field. So, I think that really helps out Roberts, but I guess we'll get teams on the Thursday night. We'll see what type of structure they're going there. And then you'll see Perryman, D4. These two, Matty Roberts and Perryman, I'm just hoping they get through opening round with a good score because, we need their cash gen to start. And that would be really, really bad if we lost one of these guys because the backline is so slim. So we'll probably be, it'll be really, really bad about that. And so there's that. SDK probably, if there wasn't a postponement, could be here. I'm just so worried about that, and that's where some cash might be opened up if we do get the SDK solo and some other news about the ruck roll for Geelong. I just think the roll is just so inconsistent there that I think you can't go there. And Fraser, we saw what he did in the practice games, both of them, and Dale's a test to play against North. Then he has Collingwood, Carlton, Freo. So I think he could do really well there. And also the fact that the Dogs are going to be probably pretty bad early on. So there could be a lot of ball down back for him and like Dale, etc. And then this defense here, no Bo Allen at the moment. I'm just hoping we get a Liam O'Connell or something like that. Also might have to change the team slightly. I have probably transitioned a lot of the cash on field rather than off the field just because the rookies I feel like are slightly poor. But there's another restructuring of the side that when I have all 8 mid slots being mids, that would enable me to get more cash there to get like say a Bo Allen. But Bo Allen I'm very toing and throwing on. And then Zach Reid as well. Those two are probably going to be the ones that split the D6 role. So we'll just see how that goes. Then you've got probably the line that's caused the most chaos in just trying to find this M4 to 6 range. And you'll see what I've done in the forward line and why Hugo Garcia is there, I guess, to a certain extent. You've got Jordan Dawson there. M1, you could probably hunt more value, but then again, like if we look at not the forwards, we want the midfielders, and then we want team selected by just to see let's go 900 plus. You got Dacos there at 40%. He's probably going to go up. He could potentially go in for Dawson if I feel like it, but we'll see how he goes against GWS, and if he cops a tag and if he gets through the tag, that'll be a different question. And if he does that, then he's probably going to come in for someone, maybe even a Petrarca, and you'll see how I restructure there. But it was to get all the beefy forwards in basically early on. Connor Rosie, he's got to lead the line for Port Adelaide early on with no Butters, sorry. I was about to say without no Rosie, but he's Rosie, so that can't work. So yeah, he's going to start off, and that fixture is amazing early on. So I suspect he gets back to potentially a 105, 110, which is huge value. That might even end up an M8. Then you've got Petrarca here. I really liked what I saw. He's got, early on, he just looks fit. That was simply what it was. And I know that it's going off one game, etc., but he just looks back to his best. And Petrarca's one of the, I think, better ones to own. And I think that we'll see him play in the midfield quite a lot. And I did just liked how he was getting the bulk possessions, to be honest with you. So that's why I have him there. Oliver, his teammate beside him as well at M4. And you'll see the drop off in price points. I'm always one that probably goes a little bit more value in the midfield. I tried to have a midfield of sort of 2-1 million guys and then Rosie, Oliver, so Petrarca out. But that's how something could change if the opening round potentially. But we'll just see how that goes. But yeah, Oliver here at the M4, just like him, he looks back to his best as well. And those two could run riot early on as well. And I just feel like they're fixture early with GWS, who I suspect might be overrated this year. I think they're not going to be as good. Their midfield mix looks horrific. But we'll see about that. That could easily be a bad call. North Melbourne early on, that could be interesting, but I think they get a good run early. Gold Coast got horrific away from home. Geelong are really good for midfielders, and then you've got Essendon, who that's gather round, but Essendon aren't the greatest. I think they're all right for midfielders, and then you have Freo, Richmond, and Eagles. So the first 8 rounds, he has like what's that? 2, maybe 3 hard fixtures out of 8. So that's how I feel like these two could really take advantage. Ollie Hollands, I really wanted Chera in this space or someone of that ilk, just that sort of upper price range, but it sort of went hand in hand with trying to fit these rookies in, I guess, and just how many I want on field, because the rookies have really just lost it, I guess. And I will be clearing, once we get the opening round scores and stuff like that, I will be clearing it. But yeah, Ollie Hollands has that really nice, juicy fixture first up against Richmond where I feel like he could easily go off. He is priced at 62, so you could look at potentially a Sardis in this position if you don't like Hollands, etc. But yeah, I think that without Newman, I think Hollands could take over. And I did like how he got to an 81 in the preseason with only 17 touches, and he could easily take that up to sort of that 20-25 touch range and get going there. And there's just, if you look at when we do the whole team, you'll see that there's definitely ways in which I can maneuver him if he doesn't perform well. But all you sort of need out of him is 3 or 4 sort of 85 plus scores, and that's where the value is going to get, because I don't see there being, if you look at the 600k range, you got Peatling, didn't like his role, Philippou out, Harley Reid's impact, Sardis, as I said, probably the only guy else I like in that range. 500k is Cummings on a wing, so no thank you, and then there's no one else there that I really like. And then if you go to the 700k range, Will Day is probably another guy that you could look at, and I know that Chera will probably go up in ownership. I just don't know how Chera's gonna do, and that's why I really wanted Chera probably over Hollands at the moment, just because I feel like he's a guy that could potentially go that 120, 130, and Hollands might be that sort of 90s guy, but I just couldn't afford it. Then you have Sheldrick, and this is probably one of the only opening round sort of guys that could change the structure up dramatically if he does fail. Probably would go to Nevitt or an O'Driscoll if that did happen, because they're around about the same price. But yeah, I just really like this early, that he's going to get that opening round game against Hawthorn. Then he does have tough fixtures, but also the thing that really should help him out if he does play, which he should be, is that Sydney need that sort of contested ball player, and against Hawthorn it looks like it could be in the wet, and Sheldrick should be that guy. So I suspect he does really well, and there could be an even bigger tackle base in the early round. So if he's going to go 80 and then 80 again, I think he goes up around about that. It would be, yeah, if he went 80, 82, I think he goes up 80k in the first round. Suddenly he's already 500k, 520k. And then I'm guessing if he was to do that again, let me just see what Hollands is projected that. Okay, that's kind of hard to see. Do they have projected for Fraser? No, it's kind of hard. Let's just see. Let's use DFS for this, for the likes of a, if we go to fancy price projector, and then we'll go to Sheldrick, and we'll just show you guys what I'm looking at there in terms of Sheldrick and how he could really, with 380 scores, suddenly go, I think it's to about 560, 570, and there could be a spike game in here where he does that and goes up 100 or something like that. If this will load for me, it's taking its sweet time. But yeah, I have a feeling Sheldrick is a guy that could easily get towards that 600k, and combine him with the rookie, get you up towards someone big, as DFS just does not want to load for me at the moment. So I'll see if that does load in the future and come back to it. But Hugo Garcia, you'll see with the forward line when we show it completely, this is the reason why Hugo Garcia is here, is to get, he's interchangeable with so many of the other guys. Let's actually just show you now with Sheldrick here. Sheldrick down there, if we say he's going to go 80 for 3 weeks, you'll see he's already at 588k at the buy. And then, yeah, if you think about that, he's probably going to do, and say he has a spike game in here of a 90 or even just a 95, let's just put that there. Suddenly that's 609k from averaging, what's that, 15 on that's an 85 average. He's suddenly 609k, whereas someone else doing the exact same thing as him is 66k down. So yeah, it just shows that, yeah, he's effectively averaged 87.5 in the on field for you, and he's gone up already. That would be 161k in 3 weeks if he just did that. And then Mills obviously coming back would be a challenge to him, and that's why you could potentially move him on, merge him with someone like a Holland or something like that, or potentially effectively move him with another rookie score to the to a backline guy, merge him with a Fraser to get to like someone that's already on off the bye. It's something like that where you effectively move his role and get another midfield rookie just to strengthen this backline up or something like that. Because then Ollie Hollands in round 6 will go here potentially, and then you just start basically picking the top midfielders. But that's something that's come to mind or something like that. But if Sheldrick isn't selected, then Nevitt, etc. goes in there, and Nevitt is just a 400k guy that could easily average 75, 80 and be plus 30, which is what you sort of need on that role there. As the rookies here, I do not like the rookies. I don't think many rookies will go plus 30, plus 35 this year comparative, because that is, for a basement guy, 30 is 52. And plus 35 is 57 or so is what we're looking at. And I don't think many guys will get that. Maybe some of the wingers will get it, but we'll just have to see. Garcia, we sort of referenced there. And then you got Finn O'Sullivan, a winger, halfback. I could see myself playing Levi there and playing Finn there. And then Xavier Lindsay is there for the just to hold some cash, because all my guys are basically basement on the bench at the moment. Then you got Tristan Cherry, obvious selection. I feel like he will probably monster Tim English. Then he comes up against Gawn, which will be awkward. And then he comes up against O'Brien and then Grundy. So that'll be interesting. He does have a hard matchups, but if they don't play Pitnet, this matchup could open up. Obviously, this matchup against English should open up for him. But yeah, he does have Port Adelaide as well. Sweet, that'll be a little bit annoying. And then he does have the double up against the likes of Essendon. But once he gets through that, his fixtures should start to open up. And I just think that if he gets away early, it could be tough to grab him. So I'm willing to spend the cash there because I don't rate Gawn necessarily too early on. And Romo's still recovering, so can't go there. TDK, I feel like he went 79 3/4 against Keith, which is a little bit poor, but I just don't know if I can spend elsewhere, to be honest with you, and I don't think you can pay up for like a Nank or someone like that, who I've seen floating around a little bit in teams. Let's just go to Nank here and just see. Nank's in 1.76%, and yeah, I just don't think you can really be trying to trade him around, etc., trying to really take advantage of ruck. So it'll be interesting what I do with these two, and probably will move him to move a TDK to a Marshall in like round, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, we'll see what happens there about that, because TDK is that awkward price. But yeah, hopefully he's just in and around there. But then you get to the forward line and you'll see that I've picked 5 guys here, fully in hoping that these 5 guys, or at least 4 of them, are keepers in Daniel Smith, Horne-Francis and McRae. Hopefully 4 of them are keepers there, and that's the reason why Garcia's in the midfield, because I wanted to be able to play Connor Stone rather than a Ashcroft or Lindsay. I could obviously flip that around a little bit because I've got Camporelli there in this slot here, and Davidson and Corey Warner, so one of these guys could easily play. But taking advantage of the cash in early of Corey Warner and Connor Stone could be huge. And that's, yeah, because Kako now most likely is not going to have the round 0, because he's just going to be a 300k small forward and then sit out round 4. It's kind of like he gets basically 3 weeks of cash then, and then you're almost like going to have to trade him. So obviously Kako could get away, but I'm more likely to have Warner, because if we look at, and we'll show this exactly like I was saying with Warner and Kako, and you'll see when I do this that I'm pretty sure because of that extra game for Warner, if they go the same, and obviously Warner's a little bit cheaper, but if they go the same average, Warner and Kako, we'll do a conservative 60. Let's put it at that for those two, I think. Or maybe even we'll go 55. We'll show 55 and 60 once this loads here of Kako and, I don't need to, thank you, of Kako, and also the likes of, why aren't you loading for Kako? There, we'll go 55 to start. So 55, he gains 22, 36 and 41, and this is 403 at his bye. And then if we go to Warner on a 55, here. I think this is the right one here. Let's go with this one here. You'll see that he is only, 34k behind Kako, and that's at his buy-in round 2. So that's at round 2 compared to Kako at round 3. So what was Kako? Where's the Kako one? So there you go. Kako's right here. So Kako will actually be after round 2. He will be lower priced than Corey Warner. We can almost make that change if you wanted to, if Kako really had that low break even, etc., and pocket cash. So that's what we do with that. And then if you go to 60, you're actually going to see, I believe, a big difference start to emerge. In that, yeah, so there's now a 19k difference there between Kako and Warner, and then it's now 30k difference at the round 3 for Kako, and then round 2 for Warner after round 2 and 3. So I guess on round 3 and 4. So it was originally, it is still 30k, I guess. So yeah, it doesn't move too much. I want to just see if it does move anything, or if they stay at 30k. It actually goes down to 29k the further you go up. So the further these two averages, the closer Warner gets. So it is interesting. It is a big watch, but yeah, if the more that they average and Warner having the extra game, the further away he gets than Kako, and the more Kako needs in that next game. So that's why I've sort of gone with Warner, and that's why I think the early cash gen just works. I know I probably butchered that sort of explanation, but that's the reason behind why those opening round rookies are so critical to cash gen. And so there's that. One thing I do like about the midfielders now, Levi Ashcroft, we don't need to figure the heck out of that, which would have been a little bit annoying with Sheldrick, and how I would have probably had to play Lindsay or Camporelli. But now that Levi's off, it will help that out. And obviously you do have the help with if Davidson, I don't really want to play him, and Connor Stone or Warner is off and I don't want to play the other guy, then I can just play Hugo Garcia and then move Camporelli here and play Levi on field, etc. So I have the choice between basically one of Stone, Warner, Davidson, Ashcroft, Lindsay that I can play effectively, which is really good. And then obviously Davidson, I'm not as high on it as F6, to be honest with you. I know he went off, but I feel like he's just going to be a guy that has so many peak and trough games. Like, it's just going to be so up, down, and around with him. So it's going to be hard to put him on field. So maybe you even want this is where you really want the emergency for like a Sam Davidson. And that's why it's probably good, because you get the look at Davidson potentially. Let's look at Davidson in round 2 because of the bye for the GWS. Davidson plays here. You can loop so easily here with Davidson, which is good. And then in round 4 as well, Davidson has the last game. So, yeah, you could look at potentially a loop with Connor Stone there. And also look at potentially in round, is it round 3, not round 4? Sorry, that you've got the boys off from Sydney. So you've got in round 3, you've got GWS playing Hawthorn. That's awkward. But you've also got him playing on the Friday night again. So you can loop him both weekends. And if it doesn't work out, just play Connor Stone or Levi Ashcroft. There, we don't know when the Levi Ashcroft game will be on, but that will be interesting there. So that's how you can almost get a look at the Davidson peak and trough games there with that. So that is the team reveal there. You'll see a lot more content coming out in the days to follow. And you've got some special guests coming on the channel in the coming days as well. So you've got that as well, and you'll see me back on at least for this week on the Monday after opening round. You won't see me on the Monday after round 1 on the on the Centre Bouncers round recap. You won't see me on the after round 1, but after round 0 I'll be on, and then every other round should be on. But anyway, if you guys did enjoy that, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on. Remember to join the league if you want. The code is back in the intro in about the 1 minute mark. And then if you are listening on Spotify, give me a follow and a rating, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, or well, I guess it should be later today, maybe tomorrow, for the season predictions as well as tipping for round 0. So see you guys then. Bye guys.